Hey there, bosses. In today's video, I'll be answering a question I've been getting a lot of. And the question is, gee, how much should I charge my writing clients? I'm going to answer that question coming up. Hey there, bosses. You are welcome to this channel. If this is your first time on this channel, I give you tips, resources, and strategies on all things freelance writing and creative entrepreneurship. If that sounds exciting to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button to join our community. All right, so when it comes to charging your clients, this is my answer to that. So every writer charges differently. There's no set industry standard that everybody charges. And having been a writer for a few years now, your prices are going to be based on a few things. The first thing your prices are going to be based on are most likely your experience. If you're brand new and you are just starting out writing, like you're completely brand new, like you've never even written a blog post before, that could affect that. If the particular subject is really complex, but you have knowledge in that field, it could impact your pricing. And also the time it takes you to write. Now, on that last point, the time it takes you to, this is why I personally don't like getting paid hourly. There are people or clients that have approached me, potential clients that have approached me and say, I want to pay you this much an hour. And I'm not very happy about that, and I voice that. I'm like, no. The reason being, for instance, if you pay me $50 an hour, right, and it takes me an hour to write an article that is based on my expertise that I've gathered over the last decade, it's unfair to me because I'm essentially, when I'm writing that for you, I'm using my skills of research, I'm using my skills of SEO, I'm using my writing skills, my grammar skills, I'm using all those skills. So I really do believe I need to be compensated more than $50 an hour to write that specific article. So I don't like to charge per hour. So don't fall into the trap of hourly getting paid unless it's like $300 an hour. That's different. I wouldn't recommend hourly. I do recommend that you charge per project or per word. These are two ways that you can charge. Per word is when you decide that you will charge people for every single word you write. So literally, let's say that if you charge 15 cents per word or 20 cents per word, this is a very common a very, very common practice that a lot of writers use. They charge 20 cents a word. Then if they write a 1,000 word article, that is $200. Okay, finish. So they just say, I write for 20 cents a word, and so that means if I write 1,000 words, that's $200. If I write 3,000 words, that's $600. Okay, so you just multiply that amount by how many words you write. Other people, which I also do sometimes, charge per project. And so I think about the project, that I have the person describe what they want me to do. And, based on what they tell me, I can kind of gauge the complexity. Again, going back to the original point, I talked about complexity, right? Complexity, which means, do I need to do a lot of research for this? How much technical knowledge am I going to have to pull out of my archives to write this? And how much time is this going to take me? I can give them an estimate. I can give them like a flat rate of, let's say, okay, this is going to cost you $250 a post based on complexity and time. If they describe it to me and it's much more complex and I will need to draw on some ninja skills, then I will charge higher. So in thinking about how to charge a client, I want you to think about, how complex is this going to be? How much time will this potentially take me? And please do not charge per hour, okay? But I do think that the per word model and per project model based on complexity and how much time it will take you are really great models, because and in the beginning, all right, it's a little like it's a lot of trial and error. Okay, so try things. If after writing 2 articles for $100, you realize that it's not worth it, raise your prices. Honestly, raise your prices. The next person who can be like, hey, and over time, it's good to also increase your price. Like when you work with one client for like 6 months or a year, you've given them good work. It's always good to ask, like, hey, I've been delivering quality work to you. I know I'm good. I'm good. I would really love, to increase the rate. What do you think? And most of the time, people are really open to that. So don't be afraid to ask. Now, that being said, I will say that there are some materials out there. I'm going to link some of them in the comments below. One is from Ed Gandia. He is a long-time freelance writer. He has his own podcast. I think it's called the Business Writing Podcast. I remember about 5 years ago when I just got started writing, I downloaded his this sheet that he has for how much you can charge as a writer. I charge similarly to those prices he has listed. All right, so I think it's a good guide. Okay, so I'm going to leave a link to that below and you can download that. However, that is not set in stone. If you want to charge more for something, you go on with your good self, friend, okay? Because I'm sure you deserve it. So that's my answer to that question. Take into consideration complexity and time. Never charge hourly. You can charge per word or per project, and really it's going to come with experience. But I say, if you get started first, right? Get started, quote a price, quote people a price that you're comfortable with, that that you would like to get paid. Don't quote them $20. Don't quote them $20, okay? Don't quote them $50. That's too low to get paid. But as you build your expertise and you gain more experience, raise your prices. Be free to raise your prices. And, I know there are different standards of living depending on where you live in the world. I live in San Diego, California, which is one of the most expensive cities, even in the US. Okay, so I have to charge at a reasonable rate so that I can make a good living. So just consider those things. And, consider those things. So let me know, was this video helpful in helping you think about how much to charge? Let me know in the comments below.